to Pwnery's Penny Arcade, and to a video I thought I would never do. But I've had a really bad week, and so has my country. So what I thought I would do is declare war on communism. I know that sounds weird. This is Cold Waters. This is a game, as you can see, that came out 4 years ago. However, what I decided to do was add the Epic mod, which is quite difficult. But I think I've gotten good enough at it. That scene right there, actually, was from Hunter Killer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was. That was from Hunter Killer. And if you haven't seen that movie, you're really missing out. I've got every sub-movie Hollywood has ever made. I don't know what it is, but I'm fascinated with it. And had I not listened to my dad, who spent 27 years in the Army, I probably would have joined the submarine service in the Navy. That is, if I wasn't allowed to fly a Spooky or a Hercules, because I have a thing for 4-engine heavies too. But anyway, I had a bad week. My country's had a bad week. I have rid myself of a burden that I used to call a girlfriend. Stuff like that. But I thought what I would do is I would declare war and have fun doing it. Now, this game's a bit slow in terms of stuff to do, so I'm not sure how long this one's going to run, or if I'm going to do a series on it. Maybe leave a comment below. And if you like what you see, then maybe I'll make a fool of myself more than once. But I am already in the middle of this campaign, and it's Friday night, and I've got nothing else to do. You can see I started this on the 22nd. Today's the 27th, so I've been into this campaign for 5 days, and somehow managed not to get myself killed. So let's just jump in, shall we? This isn't your regular first 30s and whatnot, I know. So let me review my orders. Some of this may be familiar to you all, some maybe not. You're going to notice that I'm in the HMS Trafalgar, which is British, because I started this campaign with a Seawolf, but I sort of lost it. I was in a campaign that I couldn't win. This mod likes to stack the deck against you. Okay, so I have to take out boomers, big ones, and they're going to be in the North Atlantic supply routes. So it's probably that icon that you're going to see on the map here very shortly. Oof. Okay, so I haven't even played a mission with this ship yet. Boat, sorry. Navy guys, my apologies. This is a boat. From my understanding, the Spearfish and Tigerfish are probably the finest torpedoes in the world right now, in terms of loitering, tracking, effectiveness, etc. So anyway, let's go after this guy right here. This looks like my quarry anyway. Going nice and slow. Sneak up on him. So, I have a sonar contact bearing 159, so he is southeast of where I'm facing. We're at 150 feet. I am heading... My course and heading is 11, so I'm actually facing north. And the boat that... The ship... Sorry, the boat. I got it right the first time. The boat is south of me, facing south. So, he's sort of in my baffles right now. We're doing 10. I've got a thermal layer to work with. I'm still going to wait. I'm going to keep the distance as far as possible, because what I've learned in this game is if you want to track a target and launch torpedoes without getting shot at, you want to be at a maximum distance and preferably behind them, and they can't hear you. And typically what you want to do, thanks to Subbrief, formerly known as Jive Turkey, from watching him for years, The best way to attack these guys is to fire your torpedoes and then angle yourself 90 degrees away from your point of fire. That way, if they hear you, they will shoot back at the noise and you will be perpendicular to it if you're farther enough away. Anyway, let's just try this and see what happens. Actually, shit, too late. I already hit the button, didn't I?
On sonar.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
So the first thing we want to do is get really quiet. We don't want them to hear us coming. This is our
Con
plot.
sonar, new contact bearing 051. Designated Sierra 2.
Now they told us our target.
Con sonar, new
151,
contact bearing 098. Designated Sierra 3.
which is none of these. This mod
Con
also.
sonar, new contact bearing
it's getting closer.
142. Designated Sierra 4.
All right. So let's check our conditions. We are underneath this layer, which means anything above this layer that would hit us with active sonar probably wouldn't see us. And the ocean floor is 3,600 feet, which is way below our crush depth. I happen to know that I believe this ship's crush depth is 1,800. I usually like to drop down to about 16. So anyway, one of the other nice things that this epic mod has done is it has allowed me to deploy the towed array.
Con sonar. Towed array released.
Con sonar, new contact bearing
Which is this little line
098.
right here.
Designated Sierra 5.
Which lets me track targets even behind me. Is that coming out of the prop? Oh, it is. Nice. Alright, so we're going to try to identify these targets. I think the one we picked up was this one originally. So if you've never played this game before, this is your sonar signature here. And what we're going to try to do is line up the lines, essentially. And what we're looking for is a submarine. So we'll start with submarines first and see if we can find anything that matches this profile. Now it's supposed to be winged missiles, so we're looking for a big, like an Oscar or a Typhoon, and yes, this game does have the Red October in it. But there's several like, very large ballistic missile subs, and we're going to have to try to match it, find it, and kill it. Now, I could leave my towed array out, and I could just let my sonar man on the crew figure it out, or I could just be active like this and try to figure it out. I'm already on the, these here are like the warships, the surface warships, so I know that that's not a sub yet. But we gotta find him, because he's here somewhere. And you can sort of see these lines that are kind of faded. They'll become clearer and clearer as this firing solution gets, sharper and better. And I know I'm not using all the right nomenclature. Apologies in advance. I wasn't even sure I was going to share this because this game, the pace of this is slow. Like sometimes I'll do a combat mission and it'll literally take me 2 hours. But I really like the game and I thought I'd show it off. So I have a Charlie. This line matches, this one, that one matches, that one matches. So we're going to go ahead and say that yes.
Con sonar, Sierra 3 is classified as submerged submarine.
And if I check the conditions, he's right about the same level we are. Huh, okay. Let's see if there's any others here. Because usually a ballistic missile sub will have like an escort, which is faster and more maneuverable, like say an Alpha. If you're familiar with the Hunt for Red October, the Alpha is what was chasing Pwnery in that movie. If you're wondering about my intro and about the bad week for America or whatever, tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. to noon, Pwnery's Week in Review. I don't want to call it a special episode, but it is very focused on the geopolitical problems of this week. So I'm sure we'll go into that ad nauseum. Ad infinitum, ad nauseum, ad mortem. You know, generally my sonar man would have picked up a lot of these by now. Either way, what I really need to do is I need to get down to my attack depth anyway. So we're going to drop down to 1,600 feet.
Make depth 1600 feet, dive high.
Because I need to be down there anyway. So, if this looks different than the standard game, you would be correct. The Epic mod gives you some of your combat controls on the screen the entire time when you're in this view. So, I really like this. There's another mod called the Dot mod, which actually gives you the range to target rings too. And I want to try it, but even the guy I watch, Subbrief, he tends to want to come back to this. So, out of the two mods, I think this is probably the more enriched version. But a couple of these were done by guys who both served in the Russian and the American navies without violating their country's rules. And they helped sort of tweak the AI to be a little bit more realistic. At least that's my understanding. Alright, so we have a ship that matches
Con
this.
sonar Sierra 1 is classified as merchant.
This Charlie's the one I really need to take out. I think. We'll see. What we don't want to do is commit war crimes where we knock out civilians. Usually the enemies are pink, so like this is kind of throwing me off right now. And it's like, I'm not just staring at the screen. Like, if you look over here, my boat is going down. Like, I can go back to this view, and you'll see that we're heading downward. But, like, I can have that going on at the same time while I'm trying to identify targets. That's fine.
Con sonar Sierra 1 is cavitating.
Really? Is he nervous? He's up near the surface. He's doing a speed fast enough to cause cavitation. He might actually see us because you see how he's dropping? And I'm sort of kind of in his cone of sonar here. So he may actually know that I'm here. But maybe he won't attack unless he's being attacked. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chill out. I'm going to keep heading in this bearing here. Actually, no, I'm going to kind of turn a little bit more this
Come
way.
right to 046 Helm I.
Because what I need him to do is be behind me anyway. I need to be behind back here. This is this course right here. He's heading in that direction. And the better that this solution gets, the more accurate this track will be. So when this gets up to about 90-95%, you're going to see these little white dots here, and it's going to show me his track even more clearly. So he's kind of, like, the conditions here, he's kind of at an average depth. See? About here. Where if he launched a torpedo, the torpedo's tracking system will look above itself and below itself to a certain level. So he's put himself into a position where he's going to be able to fire a torpedo, and if it's generally in my direction from this depth, he should be able to catch anyone to the surface and at least that distance downward. So he's at about, what, 600 feet?
Con helm.
Realistically,
Steady course.
he's probably got torpedoes that could look down to about 1,300, but we're heading to 1,600. So there's a good chance his fish won't even see us. But no guarantees, not until he fires. Another thing you can do is when you're near the surface at periscope depth, you could put your radar mast and your antennas up, and that will identify the targets on the surface very quickly. But if you're too close, they will see that and attack you. So this is the safest way to do it, because I'm running passive sonar, which means I'm not actively pinging like you would see in the movies. Because if I do that, he would hear me doing it and fire on me immediately. They would match bearings to the source of the sound and go, okay, he's over there, fire torpedoes over there. Let the guidance system do the rest of it. I may seem a little chatty today too, because this is the first time since Memorial Day that I've treated myself to a beer. Actually 3, but details, right? And if you're wondering why I hadn't had a beer all summer, it's typically because I don't like the summer seasonals. I'm a pretty picky drinker. If I'm gonna get a headache, it better be over something I actually like the taste of.
Dive at 1600 feet, dive by.
That line looks pretty close, but these look a little off, don't they? Like, you guys aren't blind. That looks a little off. These are perfectly lined up, but these aren't. And there will be times where you will misidentify it. You'll think, oh, it's close enough, and you hit it. And then it's like, your sonar man will correct it later saying, no, it's this. Because there are certain civilian things like oil rigs or whales or freaking just commercial ships that have similar sound signatures. And that's not a coincidence. Like, Russians and the Chinese, they set up their boats to make certain sound signatures emulate other ships so that, like, our guidance systems would think twice and go, maybe that's not really what we thought it was. But that's my general understanding. I am not a Navy guy. I'm not a sonarman. I'm just going off of what I've learned from others because I am a sponge of information. Like, I want to learn these things. So when they tell me these things, I pay attention. See, this seems more like a merchant. All these line up perfectly.
Con sonar, Sierra 2 is classified as merchant.
So that guy's not our target at all. I still need to figure out who the hell this guy is, though. We went through all the subs. It's obviously not him. So let's figure out what the heck that is. I have a feeling I'm going to run this one pretty long, so I won't annoy you with the overtime sound either. I just do that as a gag because I used to play a lot of Team Fortress 2 back in the day. I don't know, I thought you guys might like it though. I have more fun in the editing than I do in the recording. And I typically try to get everything out in the recording in one take. So if there's mistakes, you're going to see them. I try not to edit out too many things. I think when I did Ghosts and Goblins, the new one, I didn't really edit it out. What I did was I just cut out the repetition because I made a lot of mistakes in that one. Ah, see, that's another merchant.
Con
Okay,
sonar,
he's clean.
Sierra 4 is classified as merchant.
Alright, let's see what 5 is. He's still 30,000 yards away, so... How far is 30,000 yards? That would be almost 15 miles. Aha, trawler.
Con sonar, Sierra 5
look,
is
he's
classified
turning
as
his back
merchant.
to us. What an idiot. Okay, this is a good scenario. Because what I want to do is I want
Come
to
right to
essentially behind him.
082, helm I.
Now, oh yeah, there he is. Look at that. I wasn't even trying to show you that, but that's what his ship looks like. This is a Charlie. It may not be perfectly modeled because they have to work with the confines of the models in the game, but some of these guys who made this mod, they've done a very good job of trying to get pretty close. So as you can see here, he's got 6 forward-facing torpedo tubes. It doesn't look like he's a ballistic missile submarine though, so this might not even be our target. But it's cool, we'll take him out. Usually what ends up happening is when I have to do the ballistic missile sub missions, there's a ballistic missile sub and like an escort or two. So this is obviously not our query. But since I know that this is the only guy we have to go after and we're way below him, I think what I'll do is I'm going to speed up because what I need to do is I need to get in a position that's behind him. I'm not sure if you may not be aware of this, but so a submarine typically has its sonar here,
Con,
and
helm,
it typically
steady course.
fires in a cone forward from here. So like out in that direction, fully forward. And I'm pretty sure they can see off to the sides like here and here. However, directly behind you where this cable is, blind. Blind and deaf. Now, towed array gives you the ability to sort of see things behind you, which is what this mod has added. But like, for instance, this Charlie here, he has no freaking clue. Like, if I get behind him, he's not going to know we're there. We're going to disappear from him. And I don't think he ever picked us up on scope anyway, because if he had, he would have turned toward us. And then he may have even used his active sonar, this one here, which is that typical noise you hear in all the movies. But he hasn't done that either. And no, I don't think this guy's doing a crazy Ivan. Which, if you know what that is, then you know what that maneuver looks like. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up just a little bit.
Make turns for 1, 0 knots.
There's going to be a thing here that's like a clock. I'm going to speed up the time. Just because I know that none of these things are a threat except this guy.
0 knots.
So we're going to speed things up just a little bit. Actually, we're going to speed things up a lot.
Make turns for 1, 5. Make turns for 2, 0
So now he's
knots.
heading this way.
Maneuvering eye.
I think he does.
Con sonar.
Yep.
Launch transient from.
Alright, so he knows we're here.
Con sonar. Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the water. Bearing 1, 6, 9.
Damn it. So he got to shoot first. We're going to fire
Shoot
two
2-1.
torpedoes
Aye,
at him.
sir. Shoot 2-4. Aye,
Do
sir.
I have any? Yeah, I do. See, I should have done this earlier.
Con sonar. Launch transient from Sierra 3.
So what you're going to see here is he doesn't actually know where we are. He's firing a spread here. And what I really need to do...
Flooding in the engine room.
What the hell? Huh. Apparently I took a hit.
Con maneuvering. Making turns.
Damage control parties. Lead of the reactor space.
Oh. He had tracked me, and then there was aircraft that actually hit me.
Con sonar. Launch transient from Sierra 3.
Okay. Well, we're going to go up a little bit, because
Make
we're
depth
sinking right
1, 3,
now.
5, 0 feet. Dive by.
Yeah, we are sinking. Holy crap. I've made a right hash of this, haven't I? I need to change my course to get away from these torpedoes. We're
Come
gonna go
left
that
2,
way.
2, 6, 5. Helm eye.
Yep. Are we still sinking? We are still sinking.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Alright. Oh, I'm in the wrong room. I need you guys to...
Damage control parties. Lay to the engine room.
Oh yeah, we got hit. We definitely took a hit.
Con sonar. Towed array released.
Alright, I'm gonna keep the towed array out just because I need to know where that's going. And I'm gonna
Passing
launch this.
1,600
This is
feet.
called a Moss torpedo. And what it does
Shoot 2-3. Aye, sir.
is it makes a sound signature that makes a torpedo think that it's a submarine it's chasing. So it's like a decoy, in a way. Now, I don't know how his torpedoes are spread. Like, they're going in this direction, but if they do this little S pattern thing... Oh crap, I just realized something. I don't have control of this thing. Oh, that so sucks. Okay. So we know he's going this way.
Passing 1,500 feet.
Alright, we're rising. We're good.
On. Pumps have been repaired.
Very
Make depth 1,300 feet. Dive by.
Okay, well if the pumps are repaired, this water should start disappearing.
Con, fire control, we've lost the wire.
No.
Con, fire control, we've lost the
I
wire.
lost both wires. That so sucks. Well, since I don't have the wires, I am no longer beholden
Make
to
turns
that.
for 3, 2 knots.
I've made a
Maneuvering
right
eye.
hash of this.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 3. Last bearing 1, 7, 4. Contact is in the baffles.
Yeah. Let's just see if I can outrun these
Con
torpedoes
helm.
before they track
Steady
us.
course.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Oh god, that's gonna be close. Oh god.
Con maneuvering.
Don't see
Making
me,
turns
bro.
for 3, 2 knots.
Don't see me, bro, pedo.
Con sonar. Noisemaker bearing 1, 269.
Okay. His torpedo didn't catch us. We're good. What I ought to do, though, is now that I've got most
Rig
of
ship
this
for
under
ultra
control,
quiet.
hopefully I'll stop sinking. Oh, it's like, you know what? Let's get us up to 1,000 feet. while I'm
Make
at this
depth
too.
1000 feet. Dive high.
And we are going to start firing torpedoes at this bastard. Because all my weapons are not tracking. Like, they're not going to hit this guy. I'm really good at the Seawolf. This British ship, it's the closest thing I could find in terms of speed. But I'm not the greatest with it, if I'm honest.
Con sonar regained contact on
We're firing
Sierra
torpedoes at
2,
this
bearing
bastard.
073.
There we go. Alright, so now I've got fish going in his direction. And I'm going to... This flooding is relatively under control. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Now, I've got these going 90 degrees to my position. So right now, he was in, like, torpedo evasion. He was going so fast that his sonar wasn't picking up our location. So right now what he's going to do is he's doing 23 knots. He can't hear a damn thing. Whereas I'm doing, what, 5 knots? 5 knots.
Con sonar, launch transient from Sierra
So if
3.
you look at his launch here, he's sending torpedoes out at this noise, not me. And if you look, he
Con
sent one
sonar
out that
regained
way
contact
and one
on
out this
Sierra
way,
5,
which means he
bearing
doesn't have a damn clue where I am.
126.
Which means I can relax. I can breathe a little bit. Now I'm doing this in regular speed because I would just want to make sure I'm on top of this. These torpedoes aren't going to do nothing because I wasted them. These two have a very good chance of finding the target though. And, you know, truth be told, I am learning what the spearfish and tigerfish torpedoes do in relation to what our American Mark 48 ad caps do. Because, in all honesty, those are very good torpedoes compared to most of the other ones out there, actually. Okay, I think I'll be able to speed up time just a little bit to kill some of this, right? And I want to change the guidance on these just a hair, because see, this is my arming point. I have 55 minutes before my torpedoes have to arm. I can't click on it because he's so close to the arming point. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want them to arm here, and I want this one to arm here. So I've got a wire attached to these torpedoes because I'm going slow enough to where I can remote control them, which is real. And I'm gonna, okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start making this guy a bit nervous. I'm going to activate this torpedo to start tracking on him. Probably when he gets to about here, he's about to get an education. Because I know where he is, but he's not really knowing where I am yet. And if I keep my bearing and my speed and everything, I should be able to control these all the way until I hit him. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and activate right about...
Con, fire control,
See?
weapon acquired.
Now, that's already on him.
Con, fire
so is
control,
that
weapon
one.
acquired.
And then if I really want to I can control this torpedo from the view of the torpedo. Eh? Eh? So this is the fish that I've got. This is tube 4? Let's see, which one am I watching? This is tube 1. This is my first fish. Right now you can't see it because the water's murky as hell. But just pay attention to the bottom left corner. Where is he? You know what? Active sonar on one of these fish. I want to know exactly where this bastard is. Because he can't outrun me now.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 160.
Oh no. I got you now, Popeye. That one hit. Ah, but the other one didn't. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, he's on the run now. Did I hit him?
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing.
Yep,
1,
there's a hole in his
6,
boat.
2.
Okay, come on, give me the fish. Turn the fish. Where is he? There he is. Alright, so I can remote control this. Except I have to make sure that I don't catch the noise.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing. 1, 6, 3. Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 3, last bearing.
Watch him
1,
sink.
6, 3. Contact breaking up.
There he goes. That was the surface, and you can't see the bottom because it's way down there. So, yeah. That's how you sink a Charlie. Oh, he's headed to the bottom. There's nothing I can do, just watch him hit the bottom, but... Anyway, so there are weapons out here. I can't leave the scenario yet, right? Oh, plus we're flooding, that's right. Okay.
Con,
So,
torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
what I gotta do is I have to overcome the flooding of the ship. Get all the water out before I can, like, autopilot out of the scenario, right? So the easiest way to do that is we're gonna get some speed.
Make
and
turns for 3,
we're
2
going to head up
knots.
to
Maneuvering eye.
a depth of 100
Make
feet.
depth 100 feet, dive
Because if you get up high enough, the water pressure on the outside of the ship can
Con sonar
squeeze
lost
water
contact.
in.
Sierra 2, last bearing.
And
0,
because we know that
7,
there's
6.
nobody else out
Contact is
here
in the
that's a
babbles.
target, we can be
Con
as noisy
sonar
as we
lost
want.
contact. Sierra 5, last bearing. 1, 2, 8. Contact
Despite the
faded.
fact that some jerk off in an airplane dropped depth charges or bombs on us. Because this guy had nothing to do with it. Something above us hit us. Oh, look at that. Okay, so if I wanted to have a little fun with this, I could plot my course to
Come
match
right
this
to
merchant.
302.
Because this
Helm
is his
eye.
wake.
Con, torpedo room, tube 4 ready.
We can even play out the scene from down periscope. We'll go right between screws.
Con helm. Steady course. Con sonar. We are cavitating.
Okay, so now I've hit a depth where my prop pitch is my prop speed is too fast. I'm chopping up the water. This is cavitation here, which is sort of like what that guy's doing, but I'm doing it underwater, where he does it on the surface. So if you were to do this when there's somebody around you, like another sub, they would hear this and they would attack you immediately. That's the ship I was talking about. That's the merchant ship up there. If you want to get a close-up, I can just double click and show it to you. And he appears to be a empty cargo ship? Like you would think containers would be all over this, right? Whatever.
Con, dive at
So we're here.
100 feet, dive high.
We got all the water out of the boat. That's nice.
Con maneuvering. Making turns for
I
3,
really have no
2
reason to
knots.
follow
Come
that
left
merchant.
to 249. Helm eye.
Like I want to get away from this weapon here, so we'll just speed up.
Con helm. Steady course.
This is time compression, if you're wondering why this is happening so fast. And there's still weapons nearby, so we'll have to ride this out a little bit longer until all the weapons disappear off the scope. Good, and then we leave combat. So we sunk a Charlie 2. We still have 12 torpedoes left. These are our decoys. So we got 4 decoys left. We got 4. All right. So I think what this means is torpedo anti-ship missile. Yeah, that's what it is. Torpedo anti-ship missile. And then I think this one is torpedo land attack missile. But don't quote me on that, because I'm not a Navy guy. Great job with these boats, Captain. Oh, sweet. That was our target. Wow, that was an easy one. Nice. New orders to be issued shortly on this downlink. Okay. So usually after you finish a mission correctly, you get a story like this in the news. Incidents involving attacks on the transatlantic convoys by hostile submarines in and around the North Atlantic have rapidly declined. An anonymous spokesman offered to increase the volume of NATO submarine operations in the area, but at the time the Pentagon refused such demands because I am a badass. Without the threat of attack from submarines, transatlantic crossings become more efficient and suffer less losses. If this improved influx of supplies and war materials is sustained, NATO forces will be able to engage as far as the Iron Curtain. Basically what they're saying is because of my badassery, and we have put boots to ass against the Russians. So, because I'm damaged and because I'm low on torpedoes, the next mission is return to Washington immediately to repair and replenish, which is exactly what I want to do. We're going to go right back here and we're going to basically rearm and repair. They didn't give us any missions. But as you can see, I've been playing this particular playthrough for a while now. So I've been at war for 65 days. I've accomplished 9 missions. I've sunk 1 capital ship, which was really rewarding because that took 3 fish to take out. 24 other warships, 13 submarines. That's right. 66 total ships for 543,000 tons. And yep, I got a bronze, I got a silver star, I've got a Navy Commendation Medal, and I forgot what that one's called because I'm not a Navy guy. My dad was an Army guy, but I recognize these 3 because my dad's earned all 3. Alright, so satellite reconnaissance reports that an enemy aircraft carrier. Oh boy, that's going to be fun. That usually takes 3 fish. According to experts, this group can patrol in the central Atlantic. Okay. Find the aircraft carrier itself. Attention, an escort from surface and submarines should be expected. Right. Locate and sink an enemy aircraft carrier. Locate and sink the escort ships. Avoid enemy detection. Right. That's not very good. Maintain radio silence. Alright. So part of Epic Mod is they added this crew proficiency. And this is pretty cool. Unfortunately, I think what ended up happening was when I lost my Seawolf, I had to start over. Weak. Alright, so I need to repair the ship. Oh, they already did that. Cool. And I need to rearm it. I wish I knew the difference between these two, but I'm not going to even try to admit that I know the difference. So what I will do is I like to carry 6 moss. When I play the Seawolf, I like to carry 6 to 8. And then, let's see, these spearfish have been pretty good, so we're just going to top off with spearfish. So I have 9 spearfish, 6 tigerfish, 6 moss, 4 anti-ship missiles. Problem with anti-ship missiles is this works best on civilian craft or unarmed craft. What we're about to run into, they've got countermeasures. They can stop these. But I'll carry the 4 anyway, because sometimes you get lucky. And I'm going to leave the setup like this. So 4 tubes out of my 5 are torpedoes, 1 moss. Because I really wish I launched that sooner. Let's go. That is my query right there, if it wasn't obvious enough. So what I'd like to do is get as into deep water as possible. So like, I've already passed the Titanic, which would have been about here. And I'm not quite at the Bismarck, which would have been about here. And I'm not where the Scorpion is, which would have been about here. Or the Thresher, which would have been about here. But you know what? We're out of time for the day. So if you want to see how this battle ends, maybe leave a comment below, and maybe I'll do another episode for you. But this was Cold Waters, and this is the Epic Mod for the NATO campaign. And I'm going to have to jump in here. Actually, you know what? No, I don't. I can just do this. And I can save my game. So if you want to see more of this, maybe leave a comment below. And maybe I'll show you me making a complete hash of this again. Because honestly, That attack that I just did was probably one of the worst ones I've done this week. But it was still a success, so that wasn't so bad. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you are a regular here, welcome back. But either way, maybe check my other playlists and see if my other interests may be of interest to you. Also, I host a show on Saturdays called The Week in Review, which generally covers like 2A and firearms news or just whatever else tickles my fancy. So if you'd like to check that out, that's on Saturdays between the hours of 10 a.m. to noon Central Time. Maybe instead of Saturday morning cartoons, you can join us. Either way, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.